This is In the Zone with Ian Robb and Dancin Rodda. One's a mental toughness coach who also helps riders with recovery. The other, a horseman with soul, who is also a marriage counselor for the rider and horses. Together, they dive beyond ribbons and rankings to where real riders train, the mind. From elite arenas to quiet barns, this show is about the mental edge, the recovery rhythm, and the heart that keeps you in sync with your horse and yourself. So whether you're tuning in from the tack room or the open road, saddle up. You're in the zone now.
Welcome back to In the Zone with Ian Robb and Dancin Rodda. This is a place where we talk about mindset growth, what really takes to live and to perform in alignment with who you're becoming. Today's guest is someone who understands performance at the highest level, not just in show pen, but in life.
She's a world champion in cutting horses, a powerhouse in sales and marketing, a mom, and one of those rare leaders who bring both intensity and heart.
She grew up in a family of elite horsemen, earned a world championship under pressure, and now leads teams in animal health while staying grounded in purpose and empathy.
If you want to know how elite competitors stay calm when it matters most, how strong leaders inspire without burning people out, and how to get in the zone across every arena of life,
this episode is for you. Welcome to In the Zone with our guest, Havey Manion.
Glad you made it, Havey. Some people lead with horsepower, some lead with heart. Havey Manion somehow does both and makes it look effortless. So, tell us a little bit about your story. Where did you start with horses and how did you get to this place?
Okay, so my dad is Bill Riddle. He has been in the cutting horse industry for many years. He's won almost $5 million in the cutting pen. And so I was raised in the horse industry. I actually did not like horses till I was about 14. And my dad paid me to show my first horse. And he said, if you hate it, you never have to do it again. And I ended up winning a check. And he said I could keep that money. And so I decided, hey, this might be okay.
So the business and the horses were at the beginning.
Yes. Yes. So from there, I went to college, graduated with a degree in business and marketing, a bachelor degree. And then I went to work for Sherwin-Williams. I did that for 10 and a half years, where the last territory I had, it ended at about $7.5 million. It started at $1.5 million. So it was a really big territory. Then I had my little boy, and I had my little boy in 2016. He was 3 months early. We were in the hospital for 7.5 months. He had 9 surgeries before we left. He was 1 pound, 11 ounces. I actually almost died having him. I got a disease called HELLP syndrome, which is where you're in kidney, liver, and heart failure. So I was in the hospital for a month before I had him. And then it came to a time that they were going to lose both of us if they didn't take him out. And like I said, at 1 pound, 11 ounces, he came out and lived in an isolette for a long time. And at that point, I had to stop working for Sherwin-Williams. I lived with him in the hospital. And then I stayed home for 3 years. And after about 3 years, I thought, I've got this whole mom being a nurse thing down. I'd like to start doing, some other things. So I was married to Kyle Manion at the time, and they had some horses on the place that they wanted to start selling online. So I started helping them sell them online. And then I had people ask me, hey, could you help with our social media? I was doing Manion Ranch social media, and I was doing Bill Riddle's social media at the time. And all of a sudden I looked up and I thought, well, I need something that is flexible because of my little boy. Because he's 9 and he lives on a G button. He has a pump that gives him all of his nutrition. So it's not like I can be gone 12 hours a day all the time. So I ended up with 22 accounts and thought I can't move any further up unless I hire some people. So started hiring people, started my company, actually named it after my little boy, Miracle Man Marketing. And from there, ended up with 8 girls that helped me do equine marketing nationwide. And from there, I helped launch a company from Australia called Foresight in the United States. I did all of their marketing, did that for about 3 years. And now I am the US sales manager for them. So I run all of the USA operations for Foresight, and we are a horse, dog, and human joint supplement. And then I still have my marketing company.
And your son.
Yes,
And what else? I mean, do you have any horses, any dogs? I mean,
I
it
do.
sounds like you got quite a bit going on right there.
I do. I actually still compete in cutting.
Wait a minute. Is there 24 hours in your days or
What magic sauce you got going on?
Yeah, I know. I don't sleep a lot. Last year, I won the National Circuit Championship in Cutting Horse Association. I've won the AQHA World Championship.
Was that 2018?
Yes, that was in 2018. And then in 2025, I won the National Circuit Championship for NCHA. And yeah, I
she's
stay pretty
successful
busy.
in the arena and outside the arena?
We think so. We think so, Hayden, because we're admiring all your accomplishments, and we also know because this whole focus of our podcast is the mindset. Is like, and do you take the same mindset that you do in your cutting performance as you do in your business performance?
Yes.
And what is that? Explain what mindset you have towards both, or how did you establish it?
Well, I learned a lot from having my little boy. There is absolutely no give up in Lane, and it doesn't matter what it is. He feels like he can do it. He is absolutely exceptional at guitar because he can't do sports. And by watching him accomplish all of his goals, it helped me learn that some of the days that I think are pretty tough and I just can't get through it, they're not near the obstacle that Lane goes through every day. Because being on that feeding pump, he's got tick syndrome, he's got an autoimmune disease, he has to have weekly infusions. I mean, there's always obstacles that he has, and he doesn't see those as obstacles. So in my business and in the show pen, in the grand scheme of things, nothing I have going on is near what he has going on. And so it's really helped me with my perspective on life in general. And as far as the show pen, if things don't go right, you know what? There's going to be another cutting and I can enter it. And as far as with customers, I treat people how I would want to be treated. And as far as, like selling, I'm not really good at taking no. So,
She's not going to let that cow buy. She's not going to let you buy.
so, I mean, if they tell me no, then a lot of times I'll make friends with them and figure out what the solution is and how I can better serve them, whether it be with marketing or whether it be with foresight or whatever it is, and we will win together.
Maybe they need a guitarist for their wedding. You never
They
know.
sure might. Mhm.
Now, let's talk about it because you got to give us Hit Lane playing. He's no slouch on the guitar. He's actually could be in concert with one of the top rock people, and you would never know he's how old?
He's 9.
9 years old, because he sounds like he's totally got the whole guitar down.
Yes. Yeah, he's been playing since he was 3. Frank Hannon, who is the lead guitarist for Tesla, is a very close family friend, and Frank would come to the NICU while Lane and I were living in Fort Worth and would play for him while he was in that isolette. And then when Lane got out, Frank actually bought him his first guitar when he was 2, and he just gravitated towards it. I mean, that is what he is passionate about. If he's not playing it, he is listening to it, watching a video on it. And yeah, he's gotten to play with Dave Kushner. Dave Kushner from Velvet Revolver actually flew in from LA to play with him because Lane was playing his song. And Dave knew about all of the medical challenges that Lane had, but had no idea how well he could play. And then, he just basically came on the medical challenges. He was going to be nice and come play with him. And then he was just in shock of how good he really was. And then he called us and had us bring Lane, and he played with him again at another place.
Wow.
Dave Kushner actually does a YouTube video and talks about Lane.
So you've told stories, and this is why I wanted you on the podcast, because I think it's amazing what you do, but also your son, that he has challenges in school, challenges even writing, but you hand him that guitar and it's like the whole world comes alive.
It does. We were at the neurologist this week. So he has tic syndrome, which another word for it is Tourette's syndrome. Where he'll jerk and shake, but now it is affecting his speech. And when he gets nervous or tired or frustrated, when he goes to speak, he can't get the words out. And, or he'll stutter like cat, 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 cat. And so we're trying to help him with that. Lane was without oxygen a lot during our stay in the NICU. He's had 14 surgeries so far. His small intestine is less than 12 inches, which he's supposed to have 20 feet. And then he has autoimmune issues. He's got chronic lung disease. He kind of has everything internally going against him. But then now he's struggling in school. Like you give him a pencil and he can't hardly write his name or a sentence. But you give him a pick and a guitar, and he can completely play. He plays by ear. And when he has that guitar, he has no trouble with speech. He has no trouble with the jerking movements from his tic syndrome. That all goes away when he has a guitar in his hand. Or when he plays the drums. He's also very good at those.
Wow.
Now, something you might not know, Pete and Havey, is that when I was younger, I stuttered. And so I stuttered pretty badly. But what was interesting is when I would sing, there was no stuttering going on. And Bill Walton also said the same thing. Is that something that he does? Does he sing and does he stutter or does he not stutter?
He does not stutter when he sings. And the neurologist was actually talking about kind of trying to do like an alternative, whether it's with your hand or keeping up with the beat of something, like when he's at school and we can't give him that guitar, to kind
of. So I'm my passion is teaching, and I love when somebody says this student can't learn this, because then I come up with my imagination takes over. Well, why does he have to put the guitar down? I'd have it at school the whole time, and he can sit there and sing the answers or learn music and learn math through the music. That's how I would.
Yeah.
And I think that's the new wave that hasn't caught on yet.
Now is the movie Kid of Rock, or what is it? Kids of Rock, or whatever.
School
of Rock.
Yeah.
I was dropped as a child, so you can see what happened.
Twice.
Something about rock going on there. That's true. So seeing what's going on with your son, and now you're leading two businesses. Has it softened your approach with the teams that you work with, or does it sharpen them a little bit more and help you to lead them?
Probably a little bit of both. If there's any kind of mental challenges, I also have a sister that committed suicide 5 years ago. So if in that too, with the girls that work for me, I have a team of all girls. If they have a mental problem. I'm softer to that because of Lane and because of my sister. But then it may make me a little sharper too, just because I'm like, hey, what do you have going on that's so hard? And I always tell
Compare
them,
to Lane.
compare yourself to Lane. He's your CEO.
There you go.
He would get it done regardless.
Just put a guitar in his hand.
Yes.
Is this something too that you learned from your father?
Yes.
Give us a little bit more of a background on him and your experience and watch him being such a fantastic cutter.
So my dad, actually, he graduated from college and he was a coach and a teacher and he rodeoed. He calf roped and steer wrestled until he was 35. And then he started cutting. And from there, he's won almost 5 million. His customers have won almost 4 million. He is actually 81 years old and still competes.
Wow.
My
He
dad
doesn't need a guitar in his hand.
and my dad, I mean, he's the hardest working man I know, and he is honest. He has amazing integrity. He is a very godly man. I was raised in a Christian home, and thank goodness I was, because that's the only thing that got me through Lane and myself being so sick. Because there was, I mean, every 2 weeks while we were in the hospital, they'd come and say, hey, he's not going to make it. You're not going to bring him home. If we didn't have God to turn to, I mean, I could have been alcoholic, drug addict, you name it. So, but my dad has always been there for me. My mom and my dad. My mom is actually in a home on hospice. She will be 83. She also competed in cutting, but I think I got my business sense from her. She ran her own interior design company in Dallas. And then when her and my dad got married, she started running all of his business stuff. But my dad has taught me that there's nothing that you can't do. And he made me stick with things. When I started working for Sherwin-Williams, after like the first week, I was like, this is not for me. Mixing paint, I've got paint in my hair, I've dropped paint, everything else. And he said, didn't you sign a contract to those people? And I said, yes, sir. He said, you'll do it for a year. He said, if after a year you've given it a good shot, and if you don't like it, then you can do something else. But it was always that way on any kind of, when I was in high school, I played softball and basketball. Well, then I would want to go to a cutting after I started cutting when I was 14. And he said, no, you signed up for a team. You are going to complete that. Now, if you don't want to sign up next year, that's fine. But you have to do what you say you're going to do.
Wow, we need that in today's society with
Yes.
kids.
Yes.
He could run this country almost,
Yes.
for sure.
Well, and the work ethic, the girls that I have that work with me and for me are all agricultural background. They were all raised around horses or cattle, and their work ethic is completely different than kids that aren't.
There's something too about cutting, and I think we should probably have you talk a little bit more. What is cutting?
Cutting horses started back in the day when there were no fences, and you'd have ranchers that had the cows, and you'd have to go and separate these cows. They'd bring their horses, they'd go separate these cows, and then all of a sudden, then the ranchers were like, hey, my horse is better, you're better than yours at this. And so they started competing. And then we actually started the National Cutting Horse Association. And what it is it is worse than playing craps in Vegas. The odds are definitely against you. So if you think about it, you have a herd of cows. You watch that herd of cows for about 45 minutes. It's not like a team penning or ranch sorting where they're numbered and you have to go after a specific number. You have to watch those cows. You're going to cut a cow that's going to showcase your horse the best. You've got 2.5 minutes to show the judges that you have the best horse. You're going to cut 2 to 3 cows. But what makes it so challenging is you have you and your horse. you've got two herd holders and their horses, and then you have two turnback guys and their horses. And the herd can range from 10 to 40 cows. So when you take all of those factors into play, it can get a little dicey at times.
So no wonder she's good at business.
Yeah, and you're hurting and cutting all of our customers and workers, you know. So talking about mindset, what are you thinking like right before the competition starts? You know, how are you getting yourself in the zone to be able to do what you do? Are you thinking anything, or are you blank, or are you just laser focused?
No, I'm thinking, my dad typically is there and has someone with him, and they have studied the cows because I normally get my own horse ready. But before I go down there, it's depending on what horse I'm showing, you know, what are the things that I have to specifically do on this specific horse? You know, what are things that I tend to mess up on? You know, just focusing. My dad always says, you know, kind of have a mental checklist as far as, you know, what are the things that you need to make sure and work on. And then a lot of times once I get into the herd, I'm good. But depending on the event, if it's a big event like the national circuit finals at the beginning of last year, I was a little nervous because there was a lot of money up and it was a title. And so,
It's not just about the belt buckle.
no.
Yeah, you know what I like though, Pete, is that there's a lot of women on the English side that they're not setting up and taking care of their own horses. They're not working hard like a rancher
Don't
would.
say that to some of them because they do that.
Yes, they do. But when I lived out in San Diego, Rancho Santa Fe area, there was
Yeah.
people had grooms, people get them all ready, get them all ready to go, saddle on everything. They just come, jump on, ride a little bit, then go give them a carrot, then walk away.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I loved going to Quarters Congress. That's why I love going to different things because these people, women and men, are learning from a young age and taking care of their own animals, taking care of their own horses
Yeah.
and their
Yeah.
own farms because they had to.
Now, I will say, so because of my businesses and because of my little boy, so my horse says live at my dad's, and thank goodness my dad is there and my sister is there. My sister's works for my dad also and helps take care of them while I'm gone. No, when we get to the show, I, you know, saddle them and get them ready and all the things.
Does your son have any interest with horses right now?
No, he has a horse. I have a horse that's 23 and it is the best horse on the planet. He's one of those that you can ride him once a year, you can ride him every day, it doesn't matter. I did cow horse for about a year. And he was my cow horse. And if Lane's friends are riding, then Lane will ride. If his friends aren't riding, no, he cares nothing about it.
I would tell him to get up there and do a little Roy Rogers and play the guitar while he's riding, and I bet he'd be all into
Oh,
it.
yeah, he'd love it then.
That's great.
So I'm doing a talk on how horsemanship improves your business. What advice would you give somebody that is in business how horses could help them to get in the zone, as we call it? Oh, I stumped her.
I would say the biggest thing is the work ethic around it. You're gonna have to work at it, whether it be riding your horse or running your business, being detail oriented. You know, when I'm showing my horse, I can't forget the saddle. You know, running a business, being detail oriented, you know, and learning your trade. You know, be knowledgeable about your trade and always be open to learning something new. If you're not learning something new every day, then you're doing the wrong thing. And in horses, I'm 43. I've been competing since I was 14. Now, I don't get to compete as much as I would like to just because of life, but I have learned how to do it. And when I get to do it, I enjoy it. But the same thing in business. I mean, you need to be learning every day. You need to be doing the best thing you can for your customers, because if If helping your customer out's not the main goal, then you're doing the wrong thing. If helping my horse out is not my goal, then I'm doing the wrong thing.
So, Havey, how do you motivate teams without burning them out as a sales manager?
Well, money is a good incentive. I mean, everybody can say, that you should not do it for the money, but money is a good incentive. But also having people in the positions that actually love it, loving what you do.
So you're looking for passionate people.
Yes.
So if you're interviewing somebody, how do you see that they're the one you want? That diamond in the rough.
Well, so with ChatGPT and everything else, you can make a bang up resume and you can come up with all the correct things to say. But when you sit somebody down and actually start talking about, okay, what is your background? What background do you have in horses and dogs and business? Susie may be, as far as on paper, the best candidate. She's got all of the sales skills. She's got all the things. She brought me that resume. She says she knows about horses. And then you get down to it and she doesn't know anything. It's all on paper. She has no real life experience. If these guys or girls do not have real life experience, then it doesn't work. And it doesn't matter what you're selling, whether you're selling horse stuff, whether you're selling insurance, whether you're selling real estate, whatever the thing is that you're selling, you have to have experience in that and have real life experience in it and love it. I work 24/7. Wish that there are more hours in a day, but I love everything that
26/7.
but I love everything that I do. It's not working to me.
You see, I look for a couple different things, and I think probably the same thing here too, is that, I'm not wanting a whole bunch of people that are out there working for me because it's actually going to take me more energy and effort to try and work with them. So I look for certain things like the fire in the belly, the desire to learn. Okay. They might not be the best on paper, but are they willing to learn?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are they going to be open-minded? And the third thing is, are they a good communicator? Are they good looking at the person in the eyes, socially? Be able to relate to the customer that's in front of them or person. It doesn't have to be a coach, just a person. Then you take those three things and you can go very far with them. And if they have a weakness, let's say like paperwork, for example, then we'll find a way. Just like your son. If he's got to worry with his Tourette's or whatever's going on, you'll find a way. You'll make it work. You
Put a
agree?
pin on that pick and start
Well,
playing.
as far as communication, the people, I guess, probably don't know it, but as soon as you contact me for a position, I am interviewing you. And if you can't follow up with me about what time we're going to do something, or if I call you and you don't call me back, or I text you and you don't call me back, I a lot of times will test anybody that I'm interviewing. I'll have them do something for me, maybe something small, and see how they do on that. And if they can't communicate with me, whether it be, it can be the littlest thing, but if you don't call me back and if you don't text me back and you don't follow through with what you said you were going to do, you're never even going to get to the interview with me.
I interviewed with her. I set up her tent and everything. Now I'm wondering how I did. I didn't even ask for a position.
Exactly. And Dancin, Pete, I met Havey with Lisa, my girlfriend, at the Yellow Pony here at the World Equestrian Center, sat right next to us. We just started talking, conversing. And then we were just thinking, okay, could this be a good match to have your product foresight here in my cabin? And then working together. So I'm wondering too, have I completed all my different tasks? Have I done everything? All the boxes are still closed. We're ready to go for this next day or two, all about the horses. But
it's event number 2 for us.
It's event number 2. The first one ended up in a windstorm.
Literally.
In the rain. But we had fun. And it's just getting used to working with each other and feeding off each other's energy. And first time, I'm just like trying to be a sponge. Because I want to learn everything what she's saying, and now this time I feel a lot more comfortable, and I feel a lot more comfortable telling people. And we finally got our big banner out there in front of our cabin, and so now people go, "Oh, foresight!" And when people come up and they talk to me, they love the product.
Oh,
they
yes.
love about it. So it makes it very easy.
Yeah.
It's very synergistic with what I'm doing there too. But it's interesting that you test them. Now I'm going to make sure that.
Well, I want her to answer the question I gave.
Yeah,
Was,
okay, go ahead.
How'd I do?
So you did great. And so, Ian, you're a great communicator.
We did well. So we're there to support and there to help out. But you know, it's
And
fun.
Dancing Pete, we wouldn't have gotten the tent up if you wouldn't have been there.
Exactly.
And you wouldn't have put the roof on it.
No, we wouldn't have.
We would not have done the roof.
We wouldn't have. So are you available tomorrow? We're going to be sending it again.
Possibly.
And we got this table we got to put together, which is I got a bunch of thumbs, so we got going on.
Yeah.
Brady's the Beamer Dog's not
I
going to
can
do it.
probably put your table together.
So we're going to be doing a lot of stuff, but it is fun. It is fun kind of working with different people with different backgrounds. And I got to tell you, I feel your passion, especially when you talk about your son. Okay. I really feel that comes across, and I respect you for that and what you've been doing with him and raising him and still having all these balls in the air. Okay. Or cows in the pit or whatever you want to call it, and just doing these things. And the stories that you tell me each time I hear about your father, I think Pete, we definitely have to have him on the next podcast that we have him too, because I'm sure he's got a story too, just like Al Dunning.
Oh,
So
Oh yeah, he's got great stories, and he's very good about relating to people. Like, he is a great teacher. He does clinics and everything, and whatever you're familiar with is what he will, get when you talk scenarios. If you're a pilot, then he's going to give scenarios of a pilot to help you understand what to do on your horse.
yes, ma'am.
So I'm going to switch it a little bit here. We're going to talk a little bit about yourself here in the sense of a few questions that I have in mind. So what rituals or habits help you flip the switch into go mode? Get ready. Let's go.
I want to answer this for her. When does she not
So
in
I
go
was
mode?
about to say that's one of my flaws. I'm always in go mode.
Always in go mode,
Mhm.
in beast mode, as
Mhm.
they used to say in football.
Right.
So there we go. All right. Well, okay. Well, that's fine.
That was an easy question. I
Yeah.
could answer
You know
that
what?
one.
Well, okay, so let's take it on the other side. This might be also pretty easy for you. How do you do reset when you're tired, overwhelmed, or emotionally drained?
Oh, that's a good one. Riding my horses and actually showing is a very good reset for me. Another thing, I love being outside, whether it be in the backyard with the kids, just kind of hanging out. But I would say probably one of my biggest resets would be in the evening, sitting and talking to Lane about his day, or talking about music, or being on my horse.
If someone's feeling stuck, you probably know a few people that get like that. What's the first thing that they should change in their life?
I would say if someone's feeling stuck, they need to get out a piece of paper, first of all, and write down all the things that they're thankful for and all the things that they feel like are going wrong in their life. Most of the time, once you do that, you realize, maybe I'm not stuck. Maybe things aren't as bad as what I thought.
That's huge coming from somebody that just told their story.
Yeah, no, those are great tools. Those are great the way you're doing it. I think that's very important.
And I would also say, if you're doing something that you absolutely, any job that you have, whether it be like, for example, Sherwin-Williams, it was a wonderful company. Loved the people. Did I love paint? No, I didn't like paint at all, but I loved my customers and I loved the people I worked with. Did I wish that I was selling horses at that time? Absolutely, but I wasn't. So find something that you like about what you're doing and try to focus on that. And I'm also kind of one of those people, if, a lot of times when you feel stuck in a job, it's because there's a particular person that you don't get along with, or they're hard to please, or something like that. My dad has always taught me to figure out a way to get along with them.
Just like the
Make
horses.
them like you. Whether just like your horse or anything else, but you can get along with anybody if you work hard enough at it. You may have to swallow some pride. You may have to take a step back and go, you know what? I really think I was right here, but okay, you're right. Because that's the hard thing with customers. Like I say that I have 9 million bosses, because everybody I work for is my boss. And I'll tell the girls, I'm like, they'll call and they're like, hey, this happened. And I said, eyes and teeth. Eyes and teeth is the best thing you can do, because the customer's always right.
Eyes and teeth. I got it. Eyes and teeth. All right. I think we're coming to the part that we have the most fun with. I'm going to
Oh,
have
goodness.
Pete explain this one to you.
So this is the lightning round. This is the fun round. So we're going to ask you questions really quick.
Okay.
First thing that comes to your mind is what we want you to answer.
Okay.
Be it right, wrong, or indifferent.
Okay.
Okay?
Swearing? Do we allow swearing?
We better not.
We better not. All right. First question on the lightning round for Havey Manion is what instantly gets you in the zone?
As soon as my feet hit the floor.
One word that describes your leadership style.
Enthusiastic.
Coffee, music, or movement? Which fuels you the most?
Coffee.
Hardest role, mom, competitor, or sales leader?
Mom.
What trait do great horses teach better than people?
Consistency.
Pressure, fuel, or distraction?
Fuel, 100%.
Morning routine or nighttime reset?
Nighttime reset.
One habit you refuse to skip no matter how busy.
Brushing my teeth.
Best advice you ever ignored, then learned the hard way.
In regards to what?
To anything.
Anything.
Don't rush into something.
Okay. What separates high performers from champions?
Consistency.
Sales skill, everyone underestimates.
Follow up.
Empathy or intensity? Which do you learn on more?
Intensity.
What's your go-to confidence boost before a big moment?
Loud music.
Favorite word to describe winning?
Amazing.
What theme song would be your theme song coming to a sales or a cutting?
My favorite song is my horse's name is Hottish in Havana. So that Havana Unana.
I know the song.
Havana. That's my song.
Okay.
And they play it whenever we make the finals.
Good.
If you weren't in horses or business, what would you be doing?
Probably working in the NICU.
Oh, wow. I was going to say real estate. One belief that guided every chapter of your life.
My faith in God.
Something people misunderstand about you.
I can come across harsh, and it's just because I'm a go-getter.
Finish this sentence. I'm most in the zone when.
I'm on my horse.
That's great.
Great
That's
answer.
great. All right. Havey, there's one thing I want to ask you before we call this episode to an end. When someone listens to this episode a year from now, what do you hope they feel inspired to do differently?
To put God first in everything that they do, and no matter what they are doing, no matter what is going on in their life, things will get better. You can overcome anything. My best friend was killed in a car wreck when I was 16. My sisters committed suicide. My little boy almost died. I almost died. He lives with challenges every day. My mom is really sick, but guess what? Life goes on.
100%. I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you.
So I'm going to ask this question, which is really difficult because it sounds like you're busy all the time. But what do you do in your spare time, if you have any, other than sleep?
So that is a great question. What I love to do in my spare time is whenever we left the NICU, they talked with me about, was there anything that would have been really helpful while I was in there? And I said, yes, it would have been, if I could have spoken to a mom that had been through some of the same challenges that I had been through. And they said, well, what if you were like a parent liaison for the unit? And I said, well, I could do that. So when I do have spare time, what I love to do is go and they pick families that either the kiddos aren't going to make it or it is going to be a long road like Lane's. Because Lane's, we don't know what his future holds. We have no idea. There's a lot of internal things that are going on with him. So I go and I meet with these families, and a lot of times I just walk in and I say, hey, I'm Havey, and I was here for 7.5 months, and I've been through a lot of what you've been through, and they will just start pouring out to me, what they're going through, what their feelings are, how did you get through it? And there's a lot of tough days in the NICU, especially when your baby's not doing well. And what those doctors and nurses do for families is just unreal. But having a mom that you can talk to that's been through something similar, that is something that you can't trade for.
Well, here's a first for you, Ian. I'm tearing up as we're listening to this because I mean, superhero mom over here not only is great at business, but also goes and gives back to other people that are going to go through the same things she's going through.
It's actually therapeutic for me too. Because a lot of them will ask about, Lane's story and everything that we went through. Because, Lane not only was born at 1 pound, 11 ounces, he's 3 artificial inseminations and 2 IVFs later. So we had the whole struggle of getting pregnant before I ever got pregnant, and then all the rest of it.
That says a lot about you and your character and what you're doing, and you're a blessing for a lot of families. So thank you for that.
Well, they're blessings for me.
It's been an honor to have her on here. And I know there's more to you than what we just discussed. So if someone wants to reach out to you, to ask you anything, how to find you, what's the best way?
Cell phone.
She's going to give her number away.
I'm going to say, am I supposed to give my number?
No. Well, you get a whole bunch of guys calling you. You might be too busy to answer that phone. You'll be cursing me because you won't be able to answer any sales calls because you got some random people calling you going, hey.
How would they get a hold of you or business or that way?
Oh, so they can go to foresight.global would be a good way for Foresight, or they can go to miracleman.com. It's miraclemanmarketing.com, actually.
Well, I know Pete.
Or my social media.
Social media, I guess she's a social media queen there too.
There you go.
I'm going to tell you that I know Dancing Pete and I are really looking forward to the next time you come out here, that we meet your son and have him out there. And it'll be a lot of fun to have him out here. So
play a little guitar solo for the podcast.
Oh, he would.
I would expect it.
and then when he does come out, we can plan it. We can have a gathering outside our cabin and have a big gathering for you two.
Oh, he'd love that.
Yes.
He'd play for everybody.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Well, Ian, this has been a treat in my book. I knew when I met Havey that she was definitely got to be on the zone, because to me, she's the essence of how to get in the zone, because I don't think she leaves the zone. So we might have to do a show as how to get her out of the zone.
Or how to get some sleep. Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree. We had a lot of fun. So we appreciate you. Thank you for coming on and joining us. And hope you have a fantastic show coming up here this weekend.
Thank you for having me.
That's a wrap on another powerful episode of In the Zone with Ian Robb and Dancin Pete Rodda. Whether you ride, compete, or simply love your animals like family, today's episode was a reminder that true teamwork starts with connection and that health is the ultimate performance edge. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave us a review. And catch us next time as we dive deeper into the mind, body, and bold journeys of top performers. Until then, stay focused, stay inspired, and keep riding in the zone.